So that took care of too muddy. Now let's talk about too fluffy.
Too fluffy. So in Australia, I don't know if you guys have this expression in America, but if we're listening to someone and they're going on and around the bush and all over the place, we say, oh, that was full of fluff.
Yes, we have that one too.
Yeah, okay. So I say too fluffy, and what that really means is there's so much in there that just is unnecessary. It's irrelevant to the audience. And here's a really basic everyday example of that. Someone was doing a bit of a sales call on me. It was a bit of a consult. I was curious about a service, and they rang me. We were going to have 15 minutes to chat. And lovely woman, and she started off and, oh, how's the weather? How's the weather where you are? And I said, oh, well, it's a nice day. And I'm thinking, okay, I've got 15 minutes. And she's like, oh, yeah, over here it's this and it's that weather and it's that weather. And I don't know whether it's an Australian thing, but we like getting more to the point. And I think for some people, talking about the weather is no problem. Trust me, I can talk about the weather all day, and there's no issue with that. But when it feels like it's just added in padding to build rapport, it doesn't enhance anything. So a lot of people are doing all this filler stuff. It's not helping. People need to be succinct and stop, padding things out, putting irrelevant stories in that don't enhance what they're saying, or, then it becomes all about them as the speaker and not about you as the listener. And I've got a very quick example about that. Again, look, I do a lot of attending all sorts of stuff just because I'm interested in tons of stuff. And I was doing a how to sell from stage, even though that's not something I do. But this guy's meant to be, the creme de la creme of doing that. Okay. And so I got on this live webinar, and what was the first 9 minutes? And 9 minutes is a long time in Zoom land. Yes. 9 minutes is a long time. Even 9 seconds, people are going, oh, my God, get on with it. And for 9 minutes, he played a reel of testimonials back from, I think, the 1970s through to today. And that's all we heard, just testimonials. And this is my experience. And I thought, this is someone who is potentially more interested in his own, publicity machine, people listening who don't have a lot of time. And so he probably wouldn't have thought of that, right? Not because he's a bad person or anything, just people don't really think enough in the shoes of their audience members, and then stuff is irrelevant, and just keep it succinct. And the last thing I'll say about that is my favourite quote in the world in relation to this is a quote from Mark Twain, the American author, who said to a friend of his when he was writing to him in letter form before emails, he wrote, I'm terribly sorry I did not have time to write a shorter letter.
Yes.
That
absolutely.
Takes time. Yeah,
it does. It really does. And I think this is really interesting in light of, I don't know the actual statistics, but I understand that our attention span is about a guppy fish, and it's relatively short. And so with that being the case, thinking of someone going on for 9 minutes with stuff that honestly, if it's a testimony even from 2010 at this point, it just feels like it's too old and it's dated, and so it's to see someone spend 9 minutes on something like that. Like you said, it's not that it's a bad person. It's just really thinking about what's going to capture your audience's attention at this point in time. And if you're on a Zoom call, there's probably distractions off to the right of their screen, the left of their screen, and elsewhere. Mm-hmm. So being succinct, like you shared, is going to be so important in getting to the point. I love a good story. Everyone, I think, loves a good hook, and it reels you in, but it cannot go on for too long. And it needs to, is what I'm hearing you say, it needs to be directly related and not just something that's not really tethered to what's you about to share in the rest of the presentation. And so I think that's super helpful. But I was just laughing about, it's too fluffy. And I'm always thinking clouds, pillows, those are reserved for fluffy. So everyone cut out the fluff in the speeches and the presentations and the communications, because people are, I think, looking to be a bit more direct and succinct. But we're on LinkedIn, who just recently upped the character count. I think now some people are having 3,000 characters for their posts. So they will not be writing those shorter Mark Twain letters. They're probably going to use like every character that they can in order to make it happen. So at any rate, so our third one was too vanilla. Now I think I know where you're going with this, but I'm going to let you take that one away.